All right, what's up? How y'all doing? Happy Sunday, heathens. How y'all feeling? We had a little break last week, all right? Sis was tired. Auntie was tired. Okay, needed a little minute to bounce back, to regroup. I appreciate y'all. If you took some time and caught up on some lessons, I rewatched some lessons. I appreciate you. We back, baby. Like we never left, okay? And Today is gonna be a good one. Today was this series. I always do my video for social media. If you 9 times out of 10, if you're here, you found me from social media, right? So I always take my Sundays, my videos for Sundays. Those are always my favorite to do because I always keep them with the religious theme, right? This one that I did. No, this one that I'm getting ready to do, because honestly, I don't do the videos until after I teach the lesson. But this one, I'm talking about just the pieces that I've stitched together. This one was good. I felt my ancestors with me a little bit. It took me back. The nostalgia was beautiful. And so I'm excited to drop this one, and it correlates perfectly with the lesson. All right. We don't have any church announcements. Well, shit. I ain't even said welcome back to another episode of Sunday School for Heathens. I am your leading heathen, Sheena Butler, a.k.a. Sister Ruth, a.k.a. your favorite root worker. You just don't know it yet. And we are back again for another episode. I done got excited and jump right off into it. But anyway, happy Sunday, heathens. All right. But today, we don't have any church announcements. That's what I was about to say. We don't have any church announcements. Again, I appreciate all of y'all love and your support, the comments, the engagement. The watch hours are still going up. Listen, I'm grateful. I'm going to say it every Sunday. I'm grateful for you, okay? And if you ever feel like, you want to give a little love offering, y'all been sending in your stuff. And I love when y'all label it tithes. That shit just cracks me up every time. I love it. But your tithes, offering, and sacrificial giving, like they used to say. They ain't used to. They still saying that shit over there in my uncle's church. Tithes, offering, sacrificial giving, and in the middle you got the pastor's love offering. Don't ask. I said, don't ask. Don't ask. How come? Or why come? Nigga, just give the money. Shout out to Minister Society. Shout out to the Waynes brothers, man. Listen, they going down in history. Has anybody seen Keena? How come he ain't been on the... I think Keena got something going on. I ain't gonna lie. I think maybe Keena had a stroke, or he got a little dementia, because he ain't been on the camera since they've been giving them their flowers. But anyway, but listen, if you ever find yourself wanting to donate to the cause, okay, to the heathens, to keep the ministry, to keep the church going. And listen, let me tell y'all something. I post, again, if you're not following Stacy Does It, make sure you go follow her on TikTok. She's breaking down the Rooted in Rome series. She is taking what we are doing here and taking it to the max. She's a beautiful teacher on the deconstruction journey. So if you're not following her, follow her. Stop what you're doing now and go follow her. But she got ordained as a minister a couple of weeks ago. And it was funny because she triggered me back to I forgot that I got ordained as a minister last year. Now I did it for the purposes of being able to write religious exemptions for the peoples. Okay, because it's going to come a time when we're going to need that shit again, okay? But more so than anything, I did it because, that's what I did it for. But when she posted hers, I said, damn, I forgot I did that. I never announced it, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't no reason for me to announce it, but listen. Look at the good, yes, I am a reverend heathen, you know what I'm saying? So listen up. This is Reverend Heathen for the Church of the Heathens, okay? The House of Heathens Missionary Bedside Baptist. Welcome in. But fun fact about me, I am an ordained minister through the Universal Life Church. Shout out, okay? But if you ever find yourself wanting to donate to the House of the Heathens, to the Heathen Ministry, You can send me a little cash app. $ Sister Ruth, SISTAROOTZ. This is not me soliciting, because you know how y'all get. Okay. All right, so we're going to get to it. Listen, today is an old school favorite. It is one of the greatest stories ever told. Okay, and I'm gonna say that because they didn't use this motherfucker to listen, to drag out. This story has been used to terrorize, to torment, to wrangle, to condemn, to judge an entire population, an entire community of peoples. And yes, I'm talking about the LGBTQ. I don't know all of the stuff, but I love y'all, okay? All right, listen. We're going to talk about your favorite homosexual city, Sodom and Gomorrah. Your favorite your twin sisters. The sisters of Sodom and Gomorrah. The sister cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, okay? The city that the church loves to hate. The cities that the church loves. Because, baby, they took Sodom and Gomorrah, and they've been using that story to torment the same sex or sexual. You know what? Let me say this for a minute. For a minute, y'all. For a minute, I need the rest of the community. I only today. This is not exclusion. Okay, this is not exclusion. Y'all know how y'all don't get in the comments with that. This is not exclusion, but today I need to talk about the original. The original, before all of the other letters was added, before all of the other identifications, the labels, because unfortunately it's an identification factor. And let me say this, I'm not a person that feels as if somebody should have to have an identification factor. Like, what is that? What is that? Why do I have to tell you how I identify? But see, I'm old school. You know, back in my day, everybody kept their business to themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I've always maintained that. And I've been a heterosexual woman my whole life. I think I'm bisexual in theory. It has yet to be tested. But don't count me out. Listen, all I'm saying is I think it's absurd that as humanity, we have to identify as anything. Like, literally, what is that? We are all living on a floating rock, people. Living our own lives. And the reason why I say it's crazy, to some degree it's crazy, but then I can see the logical side in it. Because if you think about it, we're all on this rock experiencing completely different timelines. None of us are on the same time. None of us, 8 billion people in this world, and not one of us are having the exact same experience. That's like, sit back for a minute and think about that. 8 billion. A lot of us can't even really fully grasp the concept of that many people. Okay, so I'll scale it back. It's graduation season. Let's take a graduation, right? Think about everybody in that room, in the auditorium, in the stadium, in wherever the graduation is, in the church, it don't matter, wherever building that the graduation is in. Think of all of those people in that one room. Nobody, not one person in that room, even though you're there for a common experience. We all here for a common experience. But none of us is having the same experience. Not one person in that room is having the same experience. Think about a hospital. Not one, they're all there for a common experience. There's a connecting factor of them needing the expertise of additional individuals. But nobody, not one person in that hospital is having the same experience. That's crazy, right? So I wanna say that for now, for today, when I speak about, you're gonna hear me talk about gay and lesbian, because they was the OGs in discrimination for this particular topic, right? For this particular subject, for the church, it was gay and lesbian. The old school church was not identifying nothing else, trans, binary. I mean, whatever. They wasn't. It was what it was. Do you like women's or do you like men's? What is it? And then they determined how they was gonna treat you and what type of nasty nickname they was gonna give you in the meantime and in between. Once you said what you wanted, but if you was bold enough to say it out loud, but once you showed what you wanted. Because again, there was a level of discretion that's not practiced today. I'm sorry, I ain't knocking nobody. Of course, love out loud, live out loud. But God damn, it'd be a lot. And not just for same sex or spectrum, identification. For heterosexuals too, man, we put everything out there. And I'm not necessarily mad at it. Because you know me, I love some old nasty transparency, baby. I feel like transparency is what's going to save the world. That's the only thing that will save the world. Until we all drop the mask, drop the egos, and stop lying, nothing's going to change. But anyway, so you'll hear me talk about the gays you'll hear me talk about the gays and lesbians. That's it. Males with males and females with females, because that was the original abomination according to the church folks. According to the Christians, they are the OG abomination. Don't nothing get worse than that. They can't fathom nothing else worse than that. You a man and you doing the bending, or you getting bent. Hellfire. You a woman? You mean to tell me you don't want a musty ass man on top of you? You wants to rub up on some soft women thighs? Hellfire. That's all it was. That's all it was. Okay? Christianity has successfully used the story of Sodom and Gomorrah to completely ostracize and terrorize same-sex attracted couples for decades. They've used it to implement laws. In some countries, that shit will get you killed. Beheaded. Just because you like what you like. Okay, so let's talk about it though, because we know here, like I said, what I'm doing is I'm taking the traditional story, one that we are familiar with, and I'm giving you the traditional interpretation versus the metaphysical and esoteric interpretation. So I'm going to show you in this story. All right. So let's look at the traditional interpretation. We're talking about the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, the story of Abraham, Lot's wife, God of the Bible, Yahweh, Big Stepper, one of the original hitters, the war god Yahweh, yet again ready to test him. Shut up. It is. That's how you step on the scene. Shout out to the ghouls. Anyway, so we're talking about this story. This story is traditionally sold as a story of judgment, transformation, and the dangers of looking back Don't look back. Keep moving. Okay. So primary scripture is Genesis 18 and 19. All right. We still early. It's 66 books in this business. We still on the first book. And here we are for yet another murk. Okay. But he don't be playing. The big stepper don't be playing. But we back for yet another murk. Okay. Genesis 18 and 19, the central theme of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah reveals both God's response to corruption and injustice. Now, mind you, this is after the flood, right? This is after the flood when he looked and said, I'm sick of these. Wipe them, get them out of here. We'll regroup. Y'all take the weekend. And we gonna come back and reset. Listen. Okay, so here we are, sin and corruption, immorality and all. It's back on the scene. We don't know how it got here because it was supposed to be going with the flood, but it's back on the scene. Sin and corruption. God done got tired again. Okay, I'm gonna act right. I swear I'm gonna act right. But listen, this one finna be so fun to me. Okay, listen. So it talks about God's response to corruption and injustice and the spiritual necessity of leaving behind. So if we look at, and the spiritual necessity of leaving behind lower states of consciousness. Okay, key question. How does God deal with corruption? And what does this story teach about personal transformation? Well, damn it, we know how he deal. We know. Off the hip, off the rip, bow. We know how he deals, okay? The traditional religious interpretation is the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah. Biblical description. These cities became known for, we know what they told us. They told us they was over there it was the homosexuals. The cities was full of homosexuals. It was full of them. That's what they told you. That's what they told you. Why Sodom and Gomorrah got tore up? God wiped them out because it's too much bending, too much licking, too much sticking. In the same way, listen, if it had been straight, if it had been what he said, if it had been that, maybe he wouldn't have wiped it, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he wouldn't have blew the city up. Maybe he would have took it just a little easier if it had been straight immorality. But something about the homosexuals, it pissed Yahweh off. He don't like it. That's what they say. That's what the people say. That's what the people say that he said, right? The people who said that they talked to Yahweh, say Yahweh said he don't like that shit. All right, so that's one of the things that he hate the most. All right, okay. So these cities became known for wickedness. We still don't get, one thing the Bible don't do, it don't give good, it don't, anything could be deemed wickedness, okay? The criteria changes often, depending on who's doing the deed. That's all I'm saying, okay? Violence, pride, injustice, moral corruption, lack of compassion. Who said that? Who that sound like? What that sound like, y'all? That don't sound like? I pledge allegiance to the flag. All I'm saying is Sodom and Gomorrah sound real goddamn familiar right now. Okay? Traditional meaning. Sin affects both individuals and societies. Now, sin, here we go. The sin is back in the picture, okay? Persistent rebellion against God brings consequences. Consequences. Y'all know the TikTok creator I'm talking about. With the candid consequences. That's what God said. I'm gonna bust your ass. It is what it is, okay? And it says that God is aware of humans' actions. and holds people accountable. Yep, I've been looking at y'all. I've been watching y'all. I've been watching y'all. Y'all ain't learn. Y'all ain't listen. I know y'all young. Y'all ain't been here long, but you better ask your granddaddy about me, boy. I will bust your ass. Listen, all right, Abraham's intercession. Let's. So a key principle for this story is corruption left unchecked eventually produces judgment. I'm gonna sit around and I'm gonna let you see. Let me tell you something. When we was young, my mama used to whip us on Saturdays. She said she was gonna let it build up. Everything that we had done during the week. She said she just let it build up to Saturday. So Saturday, that was the day that she whipped ass. Okay, that's apparently that's what Yahweh do. He let it build up. He let it build up. Like my second ex-husband used to say, "When I get you, I'm gonna get you for the old and the new." So that's what he said. Nah, don't come in here crying now, because remember on Tuesday when you. That's what it was. He let it build up. So unchecked corruption eventually produces judgment. Okay? Abraham's intercession. So Abraham pleads with God to spare the city if righteous people can be found. So basically what happened, the buildup is, look, God came to Abraham and was like, listen, I'm sick of him. I'm finna go and get him out of there. All right? So I know your nephew over there. That's why I'm giving you the heads up. You know what I'm saying? But my mind made up. I'm done with this shit. Okay, they don't listen, and I ain't finna keep playing with them. All right? So Abraham says, oh, listen. Can we talk about this? All right? Like, I know. I heard the stories. I heard what they was doing over there. but what I'm saying is, it's not all of them. It's not. Let me show you. All right, because God was like, nah, I said I'm done. All right? I don't want to hear shit else, okay? But he said, you can give your nephew a heads up or not. I don't give a damn. As far as I'm concerned, they out of there. Okay, Abraham said, hold up, give me a second. If I find 100 people, would you spare the city? Like, you could do some other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe let a couple of generations be born with like 14 toes or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But listen, it's up to you. You got the creative part, and you got the creative autonomy here. You over this? I know it's some things you can figure out. You know what I'm saying? But give me a second. Let me prove to you that you ain't got to do another murder. That's all I'm saying. So God said, bring me 100. Bring me 100 and I think about it. Put 100 on the table. Maybe we could talk. Abraham said, bet. I'll be back. Abraham went to Sodom and Gomorrah. No. Did he go to Sodom and Gomorrah? Or no? Yeah, he went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Hold on, let me make sure, because I ain't gonna steer you wrong. Give me 1 second. Hold on. My bad. See, I'm the most important part, one of the most important parts of the story. Okay? Abraham didn't go. He said 100. God said, cool. Then he said he couldn't find. He sent some, so he sent some recog out there. He couldn't find. He came back. He said, you got my 100? You got my. Abraham said, no, but listen, give me 10. Give me 10 people. 10. Let me find 10. You listen, you could double up how you need to, just 10. Yahweh said, bring me 10. Show me 10. But I'm telling you, my patience is 10. You playing with me? Abraham said, I'm not playing with you, I swear. Couldn't find 10. He went back. He said, I can't find. He said, tell your nephew, get out of there. That's all I'm going to get. Get out my face. All right. Tell your nephew get out of there. I'm gonna send some angels to warn him. You send a word if you can, but I don't want his shit out. Bye. I'm done talking. God dispatches 3 angels to Lot, to tell Lot what's gonna happen. The angels warn Lot and his family to leave immediately. God protects those who remain faithful. These are the traditional interpretations. God protects those who remain faithful. Give you a heads up. Listen, go. Don't get up out of here, my boy. Shit finna get ugly. Deliverance requires obedience. That's the only way you're getting up out of here. Only reason why it really ain't because of you. Because listen, I saw what you did. I saw what you did when you offered your daughters up. Now listen, that was a little better than you protected my angels. You ain't sending them out there. Now you offered your daughters. I'm willing to overlook that. I'm willing to overlook that. But they ain't want the daughters. That's why I gotta burn. That's why I gotta get up out of here with that. They gotta get up out of here. They doing too much. Nobody speaks about that. They use the fact. They use the fact that the male angels who were sent to Lot to warn him when the men of Sodom and Gomorrah saw them boys coming through the gate. And they was like, who that is? Who is that? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? And the angel was like, what's up? We looking for Lot. That's all. Y'all be blessed. Be blessed. Baby, listen, them angels must have been hot peace. You hear me? Because it said the men of Sodom and Gomorrah went to Lot's door and was like, hey, bring them out. Put them on the line. The men of Sodom and Gomorrah went to him like a boy from that jail show. We said, I want you. That's what the men of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah, that's what they said. They went up there and told Lot, listen, we want them. And we going to have them. Y'all can do this the easy way. Y'all can do it the hard way. We advise you to send them out. So, my thing is this. You use that part right there, that part of the story. That part of the story is what was used to condemn an entire community. And that part of the story, the least concerning part about that story, the least concerning part is that it was men asking for men, in my opinion. We completely glaze over the fact that those men were ready to storm Lot's house to the point where the angels had to confuse them, had to blind them and confuse them. This had less to do about same-sex attraction and more to do with violence. Because let's talk about it. Damn the fact that it was. Think about it. That man offered his daughter. We're not even talking about that. We're not talking about the violence in this story. We're not talking about a father willing to throw his daughters, to volunteer his daughters to a group of bloodthirsty men. What do y'all think they would have done to those angels? These men were so depraved. Because it never said that the lesbians was out there. It never said that the lesbians was out there. The lesbians wasn't out there. It was men. You see how we glaze over the violent nature of men? This is how male violence is perpetuated. Because we get you not to focus on The violent part, the rage aspect, the aggressive nature. And we get you to focus on the fact that it was men wanting men. The women weren't even good. The girls that were being offered up weren't good enough. They wanted the men. That's what they get you to look at. Damn the violent nature, the audacity, the aggression, the amount of again, depravity that it took for those men to gang up and march straight to Lot's door and demand that their urges be satisfied. Sound familiar? Okay. Faith, the remaining traditional meaning is faith often requires separation from corrupt influences. That's my second ex-husband. That was one of his favorite scriptures to quote. Evil, what is it? Evil communication corrupt good manners. Whole time, this nigga is the evil communication that's corrupting the good man. But anyway, so that was it. You got to come up out of them. The key principle of this story was salvation often requires leaving familiar environments. Y'all know how they like to preach it. Now, what happens? Destructions of the city. Fire and brimstone. Hellfire destroys Sodom and Gomorrah. The traditional meaning behind this is it demonstrates divine justice. Hey, you always said it had to be done. Wasn't nothing else to do. Listen, I feel like we should look at a connection between Yahweh and the Italians. And when I say Italians, I mean like the mob. Because the way that Yahweh be moving, I like gangster movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I like drug dealing, gang banging, police chasing, like Heat, Al Pacino. What's my other boy name? What's my name? What's his name, y'all? Damn it. Al Pacino, he got the black wife. Robert De Niro. I love that. Goodfellas. You know what I'm saying? Scarface, Paid in Full. That's me. And then I love action movies. I used to love action movies. Now, for some reason, I can't handle gore anymore. So if it's an action movie with a whole lot of gore, I can't do that. But anyway, I feel like Yahweh moves like the mob moves. Like how they was moving on, how Goodfellas, like you got to move a certain way or you get whacked. Like, all I'm saying, Yahweh moves like an Italian mob boss. That's all I'm saying. So I really wish that somebody would, if you ever get a chance, if you got a little knowledge about it, just let me know if y'all found any connection between Yahweh and the mafia, okay? So it reveals the seriousness of sin. Listen, if I said don't do it, don't do it. Don't play with me. Okay? And then it shows accountability before God. What happens with Lot's wife? Lot's wife, she looks back because that was the instructions. When the angels came, they was like, listen, go and get up out of here. He finna do it. Do not look back. Don't look back or that's your ass. That's all I'm telling you. I don't know what he gonna do. He told me to tell y'all, don't look back. Keep going. Keep going. Right? Lot and his people, it come time. The first little hellfire come down. Boom! You know what I'm saying? It's like, bam. I told y'all. Y'all thought it was a game. People waking up, they scrambling. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? Lot and his people, they already outside the gate. Everybody hauling ass. Lot's wife, she heard the second boom. She started hearing the screaming, the explosions, the walls coming down. And she looked back at the only home that she knew. Well, at least the home that she could. Well, I don't know how recent this wife was, because Lot had a few wives. But she looked back. God said, I told you, bitch. Salt. Like the salt, baby. She looked back, bow. Turned into a pillar of salt. Stagnant. Done. Out of there. I said what I said. I told you don't look back. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. All right? Key principle here, you cannot move forward while clinging to what God is calling you out of. Remember that? Y'all remember, listen, y'all remember how the sermons used to go? You remember sitting in church. Sodom and Gomorrah swung around at least once a year. At least once a year. Because if you've been in a church longer than 2 years, you know that them sermons get recycled, babes. They get them scriptures, they only coming from a certain set. That's it. They ain't gonna go too far outside the set. Shit start sounding real like, hold on, wait, what? Whoa, he said, what? He commanded what? He let what slide? They did what to the concubine of... So they got the state most and specifically black churches. But I'm gonna tell you, I went and sat over in the white churches. I told y'all that in the first lessons. I went and sat over in the white churches for about a year. Listen, white churches keep it real simple, babes. Again, like I said, they don't serve struggle God. They don't. Listen, you know, y'all will be playing favoritism, my boy. The black side, white folks don't serve the same God we do. That's why I said that ain't your shit. You can come on up out of that. That ain't your God. They ain't over there crying about their bills being paid and shit. That's not them. They ain't got to hoop and holler and shit like that because they ain't struggling, right? So they stay in the same pocket of scriptures and stories, right? So you remember, it's the best preachers was the ones who could put the most spin on it, who could hype it up the most. I don't care how many times you've heard Sodom and Gomorrah, the way that they can frame the story over something familiar to get you emotional, to hype you up. It's certain stories that will always hit. That's why they use them. You see what I'm saying? It's like counting cards. You see what I'm saying? Like if you a gambler or whatever, it's like rolling with loaded dice, shooting dice with loaded dice. You see what I'm saying? Like the person who holding the dice, they know that I'm finna hit 7. Hey, they know they gonna 11. Listen, before I want to learn how to shoot dice, and I want to learn how to play dominoes before I turn 50. I know my brother know how to play dominoes. Listen, I got him. We are at church, and this is my story. Okay? I stand before the church today in full transparency. And I lay it out that I don't know how to play spades. And listen, okay. At one point in time, I was learning. My auntie Shirley, she was teaching me. It was a lot going on in my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So the lesson got lost. That's all I'm saying. But the way that y'all ostracize, I'm gonna stop for a minute and put a little pin here, because let's talk about ostracization. Let's talk about the way that the black community ostracizes those of us who don't know how to play spades. Like how bad y'all talk to us. What is wrong with y'all? Listen, let me tell you something. Baby, let me tell you something. Don't nothing scare me more. Don't nothing give me, and I swear, y'all, I am not lying. Don't nothing give me more anxiety than a spades table. I swear to a spades table. I have more comfort speaking in front of large crowds, and I have spoken in front of large crowds, and I know before it's all said and done, I'm gonna be speaking in front of crowds even bigger. You hear me? I'm gonna pack out stadiums before I leave this earth. That's that on that. But baby, I be so nervous. The last time I sat at a space table, it was the first It was the first, and I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him that I didn't know how to play. I didn't tell him. And so I can't even remember who I was playing with. I know it was a family member. I know it was family members because it was after my grandma died, because I was doing a lot of stuff at the church. I mean, at my house with the family. And I think it had to be around 2016. So the dude I was messing with, he knew how to play spades real good, right? My mama knew how to play spades real good. My uncle knew how to play spades real good. And my sister. Yeah, listen. If y'all know Gina, that bitch can hit, she can hold on at the table. Listen, all right? But anyway, baby, I sat down firsthand. They threw out theirs. I threw out mine immediately. They told me to get my ass up. Immediately, they stopped the game. I don't think I've ever seen the game. They didn't even allow me. They could have spanked my ass real quick. They told me to get up. I don't know if they was being courteous because it was my house, but they said, nah, you got to get up out of here. They put me out the game. But listen, the way that y'all be talking noise, the way that y'all be hitting listen, y'all that know how to smack that table. Oh, I want to do it so bad. Oh, listen, I'm telling you, before I turn 40, before I turn 50, I'm going to learn how to smack that table. You hear me? I want to stand up and be how y'all be. Oh, but y'all scare me. Listen, them environments get chaotic, babe. Baby, listen, I be so nervous somebody going to start shooting. And it be family that love each other. They start talking about past medical history. I'm like, whoa, wait, don't do that. But anyway, okay, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the lesson. I'm just saying. I don't even know. Y'all need help. Y'all need help. That's all I'm saying. Like, okay, y'all good. Y'all good. We give it to y'all. Y'all is good. I love it. But y'all shouldn't treat people like that, okay? Anyway, now let's get to the metaphysical interpretation of this story. Remember, when we talk about the metaphysical, now we're talking about what's outside the physical. We're coming off of the 3D plane. We're taking this story out of a human context, out of a physical context, and we're going beyond that. Meta means beyond, so beyond the physical concept, beyond the physical concept of understanding, right? If we look at the traditional perspective, this story focuses on actual cities, actual people, and divine judgment, divine justice, right? In the metaphysical aspect, from the metaphysical perspective, the story also functions as a symbolic map of consciousness. Okay, key question. What if Sodom and Gomorrah represents inner conditions rather than merely physical locations? That's how I want you to take this and look at this. Now these are not cities anymore. All right, we are in the metaphysical. Open your mind, put your thinking caps on. Stop and get you a little water. This one gonna be a little minute, but you know what? I'm not gonna watch the time. Y'all break it up if you need to, but I want to get the lesson out. I told you I never rush a lesson. I never did it in the classroom. I ain't gonna do it here. So this one might be like an hour 15, hour 20. Anyway, the story then becomes a lesson about personal transformation and spiritual growth. We're taking it out of the physical concept of two cities. And we're taking it into the inner aspects of self. Sodom and Gomorrah now becomes you. Okay? Sodom and Gomorrah represent lower states of consciousness. Remember, I told you there are different levels of consciousness and awareness. All right? At least 7 different levels of consciousness and awareness. Sodom and Gomorrah represent the lowest level of consciousness. If you look at it as the chakras as well, we got 7 different chakras. Sodom and Gomorrah will represent the root chakra, the base chakra, okay? The foundational chakra. So this is going to symbolize ego-centered thinking. And what is the ego? Remember, the ego is not a bad thing. The ego is our identification factor. It is our costume. It is our mask. It is who we present to the world as. It's who we present to the world as. It's saying, this is me. It's all of the identification that comes with it. I'm a Democrat, I'm a Christian, I'm a lesbian, I'm a homosexual, a sovereign citizen. It's the ego. It's everything that we use to identify and show up and present in this 3D realm. Thinking from the ego, thinking from the 3D, because remember, the 3D is the lowest level of it's the lowest dimension of thinking, right? There are things that are rooted in thinking from the root. There are behaviors that are rooted in staying in the lower levels of consciousness. All right. That's why you got to learn how to live from the head down and not the feet up. All right. We're going to talk about that though. Things that symbolize that lower levels of consciousness: excessive materialism, pride, self-indulgence, spiritual blindness, disconnection from higher truth. It's the 85. Blind, deaf, dumb, and mute. You're focused on all of the things that this 3D, this consciousness, this collective, this standard that has been set by it. You're living to achieve all of that. The Birkins, the bust downs, the Bentleys, the ballers, the bosses, the baddies. Okay, it's that shit. It's the aesthetic. It's the lifestyle. It's the image. It's the plastic. Right? Pride. You can't do nothing with it. You if you've met a prideful person, baby, it ain't nothing like a prideful person. Now listen, I have had times where I operated in a very proud manner. I will say that. But to be being prideful and being a slave to your pride, because that's all that this is, being a slave to the lower aspects of our consciousness, being a slave to our impulses, being a slave to our desires, being a slave to our intrusive thoughts, being a slave to our insecurities, being a slave to our emotions. Because remember, emotions demand to be felt. They must be felt, but they do not dictate anything. All of that's lower consciousness thinking. Self-indulgence. Don't give a damn about nobody. We all know somebody. Spiritual blindness. You ever met a person who has no sense of spirit? Like they don't even think about that. Those individuals, to me, are usually the most disconnected. And I don't even think that they're like, it's not serial killers. It's not sociopaths. It's not that. It's different. When you meet somebody who does not have a sense of spirit, a sense of connection, a sense of the all, it's odd. Like it's when somebody who has been spiritually cut off, it's very unnerving, unsettling. I can't say that I have encountered it too many times. But if I sat and thought hard about it, I could pinpoint, because it's probably been 2 times. I would just have to sit and think, like for real. But when you meet somebody who is spiritually cut off from not just spirit, from the connection to the divine intelligence, but I'm talking their own spirit. Now what I'm talking about that's most unsettling is the person who is disconnected from their own spirit as well as from the divine consciousness. You meet more people more often than not who are disconnected from spirit, like from their own spirit. And it's sad. To be disconnected from self and divine consciousness is scary, but to be disconnected, to me, somebody who's disconnected from their own spirit, it is always so saddening to me, especially when it's a woman. Especially when it's a woman, because I'm just like, come on, babes, come on. I know it's in there. It's a little spark. It's a little glimmer somewhere. But to meet women who have been dulled all the way down from their spirit, like they have no sense of intuition. They have no. It's infuriating to me because circumstances have dulled that connection, right? And then disconnection from higher truth. Like I said, disconnection from the divine intelligence. No matter how you choose to identify with the divine intelligence. Because, I mean, you do have to understand that some people in this life, their soul contract chooses, that on this rotation, they chose to be a part of organized religion. That's why, I don't argue with them too much. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't be out here loud and wrong and annoying, okay? The metaphysical meaning, the cities represent inner states that pull us away from spiritual awareness. The key principle is that Sodom is not merely a place, it is a mindset. Sodom and Gomorrah is not merely a place, they are mindsets, okay? Abraham symbolizes higher awareness. Okay, so that's why the divine intelligence, God, was communicating with Abraham, your highest self. Think about it. Your God, in this aspect of the story, in the metaphysical, represents the divine source, the divine intelligence. The divine is the all, right? Abraham represents your highest self, your highest level of consciousness, all right? Abraham represents wisdom, compassion, spiritual maturity, and divine perspective, insight, enlightenment, the parts of you that know what you don't know, but you feel it a little bit. You're like, why I feel like it's supposed to be more to my life, because that's that higher aspect of you trying to whisper. She who whispers, he who whispers. That's what that is. That's Abraham in the story. Okay. The metaphysical meaning is Abraham represents the higher self seeking redemption rather than destruction. That's why Abraham was trying to negotiate. Your highest self is always trying to negotiate with the divine intelligence and your current state of awareness. Okay? It's always running interference. Not interference. It's always... If we look at it, from the sense of like football, right? My son is a running back. His success is completely dependent upon two things. His success as a running back, his skill, three things: his skill, his speed, and his blockers. For the last 2 seasons, we've been pissed off because he ain't got no blockers. He got one. And I love that baby. That baby be running. He be blocking for my baby. Okay? Your highest self is always blocking for your ass. You are the running back. You got the ball. And your highest self is blocking for you as you navigate. It's feeding you information as a channel. That's why you got to fast. That's why you got to meditate. That's why you got to ground, so that you can get the download, so that you can get the divine insight, so that you can strengthen your intuition, that your intuition can speak louder, because your intuition gets dulled down by lifestyle, by food, things that lower the frequency, lower the internal vibration, right? So all of that stuff dulls your connection, your ability to hear. The coach is the divine intelligence, the all that's being played out, performed, where all aspects of it experiencing itself, right? So you need to be able to hear the instructions from the coach, to be able to move with your blockers. Your blockers got to be able to move with you. You learning how to dance with your life. That's why we call co-creators. with consciousness. That's why you got to raise your consciousness so that you can co-create your life with the divine intelligence, with the all, with God. Okay? Higher consciousness always seeks restoration first. Higher consciousness is that voice that says, don't go over there. That man don't like you like that. Go get your little time, take care of yourself, and take your ass to bed. The divine intelligence is the ones that say, listen, don't you cheat on that woman. Don't you cheat. I don't care how fat her ass is. You know your wife just had a baby, and she liable to stab you. Okay? You got to be in touch with that. But sometimes, you so far out of alignment, you can't hear. See, that's if you know playing football, going back to football, when it's time, when we on offense, the other teams would get loud. The other team's fan base, their band and all that would get loud so that our team couldn't hear the plays being called. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes life get loud. All of that shit in your life get loud and you can't hear the plays being called from your higher self, from the divine intent. You got to be able to listen. Because when life get loud, like the crowd get loud, you got to know that you saw the play. You talked to the coach, you checked in, you meditated, you fasted a little bit. You got the blueprint. You got the inner call. You know, even if you can't hear the coach, even if you can't necessarily hear what your higher self is saying, clearly you learning to trust because you done ran this play before. Regardless of if you realize it or not, you done ran this play before. It might look a little different. You might have been on a different field. I'm teaching now. That focus blending kicked in. Y'all get your focus blend off my website, okay? But listen, you done played this. You done ran this before. You done been through some shit. Don't forget. I don't know who this for. Don't forget what you done came through already. You hear me? I don't care how life whooping your ass right now. Don't forget that you done been here before. It might have looked different stadium, different team. A different defense that you going up against. But your offense is impeccable, baby. You know how to run this shit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay? The angels symbolize something. Wait, before I say that, sometimes we sometimes you miss too many practices. You know, sometimes you got a player that just refuse to listen to the coach. Like on, what's the movie, on Jerry Maguire? When Cuba Gooding Jr. wouldn't do what the coach was saying? When they didn't want to deal with him because he was hard-headed, he ran his own plays. He did what he thought was best, and it wasn't working out in his favor, but he was too arrogant, too prideful, too much in the ego. Come on, we preaching with Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Okay? When he got in sync, when he got in tune, when he let his ego, when he forced his ego to die down, then he was able to merge. He was able to get what he needed to get, and then he got his money, he got his contract, he got his recognition. He got his highest timeline. But sometimes you got to get your ass on that field. And listen, you know, when he got that hit, when he got that hit, and Regina King was on the phone, she said, tell me something, Jerry. Tell me something. Don't talk to me right now. Tell me he okay. And she's saying, get up, baby. That's how your higher self be looking. Because we told your ass to stop playing and now look at you. You're on the ground. And you ain't moving. I told you not to answer that goddamn text message. We told you not to take another job. You did not need another PRN shift. Now you done had a stroke. I told your ass we needed to get in the gym. I told you. I told you needed to control what you was eating because them folks told you that your diabetes was getting bad. You needed to reverse it. We talked about this when they told us we was pre-diabetic. Now these folks saying your toes got to go. You don't know what that hit gonna look like. You don't know what that swift foot to ass gonna look like. Listen to me, y'all, please. Voluntarily or involuntarily. But your ass gonna learn this lesson so that you can ascend in consciousness. The whole reason you're here is so that you can evolve your soul and ascend in consciousness. You are not allowed to bullshit for too long. Okay? The angels symbolize divine guidance, revelation, intuition. That it's your hey, listen. Hey, your higher self sent us down here to tell you that shit finna get ugly. Shit finna get real ugly. Okay. It's a lot of stuff going on around you. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people. You got a lot of people using you. You know, you got a lot of people that's lying to you. You got a lot of people exploiting you. You got a lot of people playing in your face. Okay, the shit done got so ugly, and apparently you not paying attention. Okay, you don't see that you're in the middle of some ugly shit, some low life shit. Why you're in the bottoms, babe. You're dumpster diving right now, and you're not supposed to be here. But apparently you've gone nose blind because you can't smell all of the bullshit that's around you. You've gone legally blind because you can't see all of these sideways around you. You done gone deaf because you can't hear shit I've been trying to tell you. You won't meditate. You won't slow down. You won't sleep. You won't deep breathe. You won't focus on self. You won't respect yourself. You won't honor yourself. You won't look out for yourself. You won't even save yourself. So because of the contract, it says that you got a certain amount of time. And there's some contingencies. That's all we saying. You've blown through those contingencies, so now we got to step in. The board got to take over. You're not handling the business responsibly. So we're going to go ahead and take over. We're going to step in. Okay? Do a little, we're going to terminate. We're going to clean things up for you. Okay? You can't see it. We're not going to let you go. You get to keep your job. But listen, going to turn up the heat a little bit, okay? Turn up the heat, put a little pressure on you. You've been a well-performing, a very high-performing soul up until now. It's not good enough. We got better things to do. We got bigger things to do. You're not learning enough. You're not learning fast enough. I don't know what it is. I know you said you got a daddy wound. I know you said your man, it was a bitch. A bitch. Like Norbert was But you 35 now, boo. Mama been fucked up for a long time. She ain't changing. Okay, so we can't use that as an excuse no more. Y'all come on up out of here. Okay, we're gonna change the corporation around. We're gonna do a merger. We're gonna merge this shadow and this ego. We're gonna integrate the light and the dark. Construction and demolition, it's going to be loud, it's going to be noisy, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to be able to be in your office for at least, well, you know what, honestly, that depends on you. You can come in and work, there might still be some dust there. You can come in and work if you want, but you're going to be out of the office for a minute. We're giving you time to do some personal development. A few CEUs, if you will. Yeah, it's finna get ugly. So you gonna have to move. The angels represent spiritual insight, messages from the higher consciousness, the higher self. Listen to me if you ever get, I'm gonna keep saying it, if you ever get random thoughts, if you ever feel the need, if you ever get like a random insight, a random light bulb moment, write it down or record it, because it might not make sense now, but it's a message from your higher consciousness, the part of you that sees bigger picture. Okay. The angels represent truth, entering awareness and initiating change. Them rose-colored glasses finna come off, babe. We finna take these blinders off. You've been living in a very well-contained lie. Okay. Transformation begins when higher truth enters the chat, baby. Truth and accountability have just entered the chat. The citizens represent the ego's resistance, because listen, when truth and accountability enter the chat, the ego's like, oh, whoa, what y'all doing? What y'all, who said, where y'all, I'm sorry, I wasn't on the email, sir, ma'am. Wait, what Mr. Johnson said about this? Well, listen, what Christina said, Christina's gone. Nah, babe. Nah. The ego resistance symbolizes fear of change. That's the first thing. Listen, the ego knows. The ego is more attached to your intuition than you are. Ain't that some shit? The ego knows when change is coming, even if you don't want to acknowledge it. Okay, that gut feeling, that I think I done fucked up. Yes, that right there, I should not have done this. What? Yeah, that right there, that anxiety, that you can't sleep at night, that right there, that's the ego knowing. The ego knowing that some shit finna get shook up. Okay, it symbolizes resistance to truth. This is when the lying to yourself and the gaslighting of yourself starts. I'm okay. No, we fine. Listen, no. No, we all right. Everything is fine. We don't have to do this. No, we don't have to end the relationship. It's okay. No. I got it. I'm managing it. No. I know. I know my blood pressure's high. I know it. I take my medicine. Listen, I took the stairs. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. We're gonna go and get this little ER visit. Maybe a little admission. Gotta be in the hospital for about 10 days. Scared as shit, don't know what's gonna happen. Attachment to old habits and old places. No, I'm not leaving my home. Whew, baby, that was me. That house. That house was the last thing I had to let go. Remember your suffering. When this happens, when the message comes down, it's time to move. It's time to move. It's time to get up and listen. When the message comes down from the top, it's finna be some changes, and you can't take none of this shit with you, baby. I fought so hard to hold on to my house. I did, and I said I'm going until the only answer I can get is no, and I did just that. And I remember the day when I realized. I looked at Gina. I said, bitch, I'm finna lose my house. And it was the most surreal thing. And then to lose it off of the strength of fucking with the wrong nigga. Oh, whoo, listen, baby. But that was the last thing that I had to release. I had my hands like this, right? Like it wasn't a tight fist, but no, please, no. The universe said, nah, give me that. Give me that. But it's all good. Give me that. I know you don't want to let this go. I know it symbolizes everything. I know that it is the thing that you can look back and say, no matter what, no matter how bad it's been, no matter how ugly it's been, I did that. That's me. I gave that to my kids. I did that for them. No matter what. I know it hurt. I know, but you gotta give me that. You gotta let that go. And trust that all is well. Just listen, it's gonna be all right. Girl, you don't know what we got. Let it go. Your suffering is in your resistance to release. Attachment to old habits. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been clean off Black and Milds 6 years this year. Went cold turkey. Okay? And I'm gonna say it again, it's not a day that I don't miss them. But nothing like a good wine tip. I mean a wood tip wine. Wine flavor Black and Mild. With a cup of coffee. Listen, that bastard who I was messing with in 2016, he put me on to smoking blacks with coffee. That, to me, like, why would you do somebody that? Why would you, the feeling that hit me the first time I had a cup of coffee with a black mic, listen, there's not a day goes by that I don't miss Black and Milds. But to me, Black and Mild symbolized the time when I needed. I was so, listen, the reason why I started smoking them is because life was whooping my ass. Ooh, baby. And I was hitting them. I'm talking the long, I don't want that. I had started smoking the filter tip ones, the ones that look like cigarettes towards the end. Trying to make myself feel better about this fucked up decision because I'm a RN and I know that this shit ain't good for you. And then one full size Black and Mild is the equivalent of 7 cigarettes. And I'm smoking. I had got up to 2 packs a day on the long ones. So for me, no matter how much I miss the feeling, the sensation, the comfort, because that's what it was for me. Black and Milds was a comfort. I would sit in my garage, listen to some music, and the world was quiet for a minute. So to me, that's what Black and Milds represent. I learned how to make my own quiet. So I don't need that no more. My homegirl came here a few months ago, and she smoked blacks. She's trying to come off of them now. But she left one in a pack on my table out there in my herb space in my garage. And I look at it, I keep it there. I ain't throw it away. Like, this is literally, she was here when she left there in January. That damn black sit right there in the pack on the table. I look at it every day. Every day. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it because I remember I don't need that. I am that. I am that, okay? The citizens represent defensive thinking. You know how I get that cognitive dissonance. Get out of here with that devil shit. Don't talk to me. What do you mean? No, everything that I thought is not a lie. No, you're wrong, damn it. No, that man loves me. No, that girl ain't using me for my money. That bitch love me. And that is my baby. Listen, I know it's some dudes out here right now. Sitting in the house with a baby that they know ain't theirs. They know it's a get back baby. But they can't say shit. They can't say shit because they know. They know what they've done. They know what they've done. So they're going to learn how to judge. They feed them till it look like it. Listen, it's that defensive thinking, that cognitive dissonance, that's what most people get stuck. That's why most people will not, for real, go on this journey. They get stuck right there. That cognitive dissonance. I'm telling you, I know. The dude who sparked my awakening, that was 2016. I didn't have my full awakening until 2021. 5 years later, but I never forgot a word that man said. Not one word. And I was able 8 years later to turn around and hand it to him, because you talked all of that shit and you are none of what you were telling me I should be. But I'm grateful, because that's what you were sent for. You were never gonna be what you weren't gonna be that. He's too far in his ego. Love him to death, but he is an egotistical asshole. So while he was a pivot, he was what my highest, he was a part of the contract. So to pencil that motherfucker in. Okay. The ego often rejects transformation because it threatens familiar patterns, and we will cling. The ego loves that which is familiar, even if that which is familiar is complete and utter dysfunction. We will cling to it. That is why you will stay in marriages where you are suffering. That is why you will maintain relationships that are not serving you. That is why you will keep yourself in positions that do not honor you, that do not display any sense of self-love, because it's familiar. I don't know who I am without this. And I'm too scared to find out. And to me, that is the death before you actually die. Okay? Growth creates resistance before breakthrough. If you was like me when I was growing up, I had a growth spurt and my bones were, that's what they said, my body was growing faster than my bones could catch up with, so I started having extreme knee pain. And so they saw that I had a gap in between my knee. They were waiting for the bones to catch up and for the epiphyseal plate to close up. That means you stop growing, right? So I stopped growing officially. They deemed me officially done at 15. That was when I had my last bone scan. And they saw that my plates was closed, so they said I was done growing. I was 5'10". But honestly, I had been 5'10", 5'9", 5'10" since the 5th grade. Okay? So growth creates resistance and discomfort, pain. My motherfucking knee used to be aching. Do you hear me? As a young kid, I'm like, I'm wearing knee braces and shit in elementary school. Okay? I had to wear a back brace in the 5th grade. I had so much back pain. But now that I think about it, the pain that I was having then is the pain that returned in 2020 when my daughter got pregnant. And the pain that I was having then was after my daddy died. And it was the root chakra, because my sense of security had been threatened. Y'all, listen, baby, how that stuff come full circle. So listen, the pain that I was having in my lower back, it was indicative of what was being manifested externally in my life. It's always energy first, even when you're a kid. For those of us who are tapped in, who woke right now, who we here, who conscious right now, who are aware right now, you've always, you know what I'm saying? You've always been this. You've always been this. That's why you're here, listening to me at my goddamn mouth, okay? Fire and brimstone represents purification, that tower moment. When shit start falling apart, baby. It's the burning away, the kaboom. It's the, that fire, hellfire, boom, blow all that shit up. It's when things fall apart to come together. It represents cleansing of the self, refinement. That's why they say gold is purified in fire. Diamonds are transformed under pressure, created under pressure. Okay? It represents transformation and removal of unhealthy structures. The cities, symbolically, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah being destroyed, being demolished, the buildings falling down, the houses burning away. It represents all in your life, the unhealthy structures in your life, the relationships, the agreements. Shout out to the 4 agreements. that you've made. It represents the demolition and the removal of all of that. And again, your resistance to release is what will cause your suffering during that moment, okay? The fire destroys what no longer serves spiritual evolution. It's hindering you, it's stopping you, and it can't stay. Now you can try and hold on to it. But what cannot be transformed must eventually be released. Lot represents the developing soul, the spiritual aspiration, him running, the readiness for change. Listen, yeah, that was his home, but goddamn it, let's go. Okay, I ain't trying to get growth through obedience, the submission of the ego to the higher self, the submission of the soul to the evolutionary process. Lot represents the developing soul, the willingness to change, the readiness for change, the I'm ready. The intention is set. I'm choosing me. I'm going to make the decision that's going to save me, because Lot was running for his life. Okay? Lot represents the part of us that was willing to follow the higher guidance. It's the part that says, fuck it, I'm done. I don't know what I'm finna do, but I know I'm done with this shit. Okay? Listen, don't call me no more. Don't call me. Keep your ass from right. If you knock on my door, it's going to be a problem. If I raise up, it's going to be trouble. All right. Lot's wife represents attachment to the past. And it's a real thing. We're not discrediting that at all. It is a real thing. Okay. Nostalgia will tear your ass up. The video that I had to do today, there was so much nostalgia that came up. I was like, oh my God. And there was a part of me, and I allowed myself to relish in it. Because the truth is, I did have a life before this life with people in it that I did love at that time. And I love them now. I just had to release them because they don't serve me. Old identities, I miss. Whoo! I ain't gonna get emotional because I done made it through this whole goddamn video without crying. I do miss. There's a clip of Mike Tyson going around, and it's crying because he says he misses his older self, his former self, that crazy motherfucker that everybody was afraid of. He misses the beast. And if you've ever been a person that had to learn how to tame your beast, that beast of rage, that beast of anger, that beast that protected you from all of the people who tried to hurt you. If you've ever had to lay that beast to rest and to let them know it's okay, we're going to take care of ourselves differently now. But you miss that person because there are times that come up where that person would have handled shit. Ain't nothing like cursing them out. I'm talking. Ain't nothing like cutting up. Ain't nothing like telling them, bitch, I will tear your motherfucking ass. I will drag you. Ain't nothing like putting your hands on somebody who talking shit. But that person is going. Because while they were there, that person was so unhappy. That person was so hypervigilant. That person was so frustrated, so stressed, so sick, so inflamed, so exhausted, so sad, so frustrated, so tired. And while you miss them, you understand that they're not necessary no more. And you want to honor them by not having to wake them up. That's why I tell people, listen, it took me a long time to put that bitch to sleep. It took me a long time to put her to sleep. If you wake her up, it's going to take so much to wake her up now. But if you wake her up, if I allow her to get up, you got to be ready to deal with the consequences of her because she don't give a damn. She is literally like, Lil Jon, if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. You hear me? That bitch ain't have no sense. I think back to some of the stuff that I used to know, like she used to do. I'm like, but you ain't. Woo! Lot's wife symbolizes emotional attachments. I love him. That's my baby. That's my brother. But that's my sister. But that's my daddy. But she's still my mama. All of those things. And the fear of change, because where we gonna go? Where we gonna live? What do you mean? We can't take nothing. We could only take a little bit. How far we gonna get with this little bit? We don't even have enough money. What are you talking about? We finna quit the job, bitch. Did you not see the light bill last month? Yeah, I did. But we can't stay at this job. She leaves physically, but not mentally or emotionally. Because you can remove your body from a situation. You can relocate to that city, that new city. Mm-hmm. You can move jobs. You could deactivate and create a new TikTok page, a new Facebook and all that. But guess what? Them feelings still gonna be there. Them emotions still gonna be there. And you have to learn how to move forward in life with those feelings and those emotions. And not look back, because you understand that those feelings and emotions are valid. Don't get me wrong. They demand to be felt. But they don't dictate my life, and they cannot help me with my direction forward. Nothing about Sodom and Gomorrah could help that woman where she was going. Nothing about it being destroyed could help her where she was going. Once something is over, there's no need in looking in it, because whatever it was that you had while you was there, it's gone. I know at one point in time, y'all had the best times. I know that sex was incredible. But the reality is that man is cheating on you, and he don't like you like that no more. And you need to be honest with yourself about that. And don't look back. Stop looking back at the version of it that it was. It's not that anymore. You see where your house was? It's a big ass boulder there now. Where that relationship was? Nothing but ashes and rubble, babe. Why are you still thinking about it? It's over. You got to go. You got to move. I know your son was Mr. Pre-K 2013. I know. But the reality is that little bastard is out there robbing and carjacking. That's not your baby. And you got to detach so that you can learn, so that you can live your life, because that baby got his own path. You did your part. You can't beat yourself up about that. That baby got free will, just like any other human being. You got to let it go. You can't look back. It turns you to salt. And the irony of salt, because tears are composed of salt. So you keep looking back and you let your tears freeze you. You let your regret freeze you, stop you in your place. Salt without a purpose is just salt. Tears without a purpose are just tears. Your tears should be used for a purpose: cleansing, restoration, strengthening, renewal. But stagnant salt don't serve nobody. Okay? You cannot enter a new life while remaining attached to the old one. That's all that Lot's wife shows us. You can't run looking back. You can't drive from your rear view mirror. Okay? We talked about what the pillar of salt represents. And then we're going to wrap this. The key principle is growth stops when we refuse to release the past. Okay? So this was never about homosexuality. This was never about pride. This was never about this was never about homosexuality. This was never about violence. This was never about immorality. That's not what this. It is what it's about, but it's about that on talking about you. Because in what part of life are you prideful? In what part of life are you violent with yourself or others? What part of life are you prideful with yourself or others? What part of your life are you living from the lower aspects? Because that right there, that your Sodom and Gomorrah is keeping you from being where you need to be. It's keeping you from moving forward. It's keeping you from hearing the voice of God. It's keeping you from hearing the direction of your inner self. It's keeping you from hearing your inner God, your God body. It's keeping you from hearing that internal communication. Come on up out of there. The fire and brimstone is falling, but all is well. Happy Sunday, heathens. Have a good one.